welcome back to Let's Talk Short Track Racing. I am co-hostless this week. Frank is out of town, so we do have him on the phone. You there, Frank?
I'm here.
Ah.
I'm like Jim Cantoria from the weather station, the Weather Channel. Yep.
You're up in Michigan now, right? You made the trek
Yeah,
from Wisconsin.
we made the trip from Lakeland, the studio, all the way up to back home, Wisconsin Dells, and now we're over in I'm not sure the Sarah, some weird town. This was where Shaco Chassis
Mhm.
is out of the town that we're up here racing for. Evan Kendrick's going to run one of Evan's cars, or the house cars, this weekend on Saturday. So yeah, we're over here in Michigan right
For
now.
Berlin
So
season opener, right?
yeah, yep, for the icebreaker for Berlin. Yep, for Jeff and the boys over there. So that'd be a lot of fun. So
Awesome. I know he's
I'm
excited and you're excited about it too.
I'm about sick of driving, but
Yeah,
because
yeah. You
because
guys left on what, Thursday or Friday?
yeah, we left on Thursday night, drove it straight back, and then as soon as I got back into Wisconsin, I had three race cars in my shop. I had to get ready for the Slinger race, and then we left early this morning to get over here, which it's a 6.5 hour drive, and then from here to we test tomorrow at 9 a.m. We got the track from 9 to 1, and then Friday it looks like it's going to rain over here Friday actually, and then Saturday it's supposed to be beautiful on Saturday, but even tomorrow is supposed to be really nice. So we're looking forward to it. So we'll get some time on Friday to work on the car back in the shop after we go test and see what we come up with. But Evan Shaco and this Shaco Racing car, he's got a beautiful shop here. He's I feel like this young man is state of the art. What he's got going on here is pretty impressive. I've only been in here for a half hour and I already like what I see.
Yeah, it was a beautiful shop. I know when we were up in Michigan late last year, we stopped by there. They were very nice and opened up the shop for us after Owasso, before Berlin, to allow Grant and the guys to work on the cars there, and it was a great facility. Great people too.
Yeah, that's Hayden's place that we were at. That this is the Were you at Shaco's shop or were you at Hayden's shop?
Oh, I think maybe it was Hayden's.
Yeah, it was Hayden's. This
Okay.
this one's I think this one's like a couple miles away from there.
Okay.
This one here they got a new building. It's all epoxy floor. Just
Oh
really nice
wow.
place. He's got a pile of cars in here, and like I said, what I enjoy the part of this is he's young. Evan and his
Yeah.
they're and everything that he does here. It's all CNC'd, laser cut. I mean, really nice. The cars are really, really nice. He's doing a good job, and I like what I see. And like I said, and maybe this is where we're heading to our future with GTR racing. With Evan Shaco.
Yeah. Yeah.
So and like I said, what he's doing, and he's his cars. They're reasonable. It's not like the other ones where they're just everything's gone up so much. But I'm impressed with. I'm not going to sit here and talk prices. You can get a quote from him, but when he sent me a quote for a chassis, I was really impressed. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, so that's yeah, we're looking forward to this. I mean, this is a part of what we're doing for Grant and the racing program up there
Yeah, it's gonna
and
be a
everything that we got
busy
going on.
weekend for
So
you.
yeah, and then then we go from here. Saturday we race, then make the 6 hour trip right back to Slinger, race Slinger on Sunday, which is pretty cool. We're gonna have Travis on today. That'll be awesome.
Yeah,
Travis,
I'm
a friend of
excited to
mine,
talk with him.
him and his wife Kelsey. I've known them for a long time, and great family, great people, and yeah, it'll be great having them on. So
So should we talk a little bit about this past weekend's races? I know we had the Jag CRA series had their season opener at Toledo.
yep,
Kyle Crum won that. Um, wasn't a few races had rained out. It wasn't a terribly busy weekend in the means of racing.
yeah, no, I think it was pretty quiet. And the north up here, everything's just starting to get started. So like,
Yeah, this is their
um,
big kickoff weekend,
yeah,
it seems.
yeah, and then I think it was Cordial had a race this weekend too. This past weekend.
Yeah, they had the
What?
trucks and outlaws, I think they call them instead of sportsmen there.
Yeah, yep, yep. And
Yes.
yeah, no, there wasn't much going on for sure. I
No,
know
there was
Auburn.
I mean, a little bit of drama when we were at Cordial. I was actually up there this weekend with Garrett and the trucks. Um, so, but I think overall everything will play out and work out for the best for
Yeah,
each party
yeah.
from.
I think it's I think it's a positive for both. There, like I talked to Ricky, and Ricky Brooks is he's known throughout the country. He is the perfect guy to run a tour series. Right? Is
Absolutely.
he's the most fair guy I've ever known in racing. And like I always said, it doesn't matter if you're you know Bob Smith first time he came out, or if you're Bill Elliott. you
Yeah,
know,
he's no
you're
matter
going to get
what you
treated the
take your
same.
head,
And
he's the same.
yeah, and one thing that's impressive, and he has a following, and I mean just even a following of fans, not just racers. There's, the racers, most people love him. It's like I said, sometimes you'll have some harsh critics or whatever because of like his way of doing things, and that's just his way. But I enjoy the URAR, the series he runs. I enjoy them races that we go do, and
Yeah, no, and
but
I think
but
it's best in the efforts for the series that he is able to travel fully and fully devote himself to those
yeah,
series. I think that'll be the best thing for him and help them grow the most.
yeah, and apparently the Nolan family, they have their ideas what they want to do, and maybe it's just the best for both, and they're doing their thing, and they got different management, and they're trying to move forward with what they're trying to move forward to. So I mean, I look at it in both ways. I always feel like there's a positive out of all of it. Sometimes when a door closes, another one opens. So I feel like in both parties, it's probably better. So
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I think it'll be interesting to watch it go forward, but I think both parties are going to be able to grow because Cordial can also focus. It's hard to have a tech guy that's out of town, in and out of town with the series, so it'll be good for them to have a consistent tech person and everything too.
yeah, in Georgia right now, like Cordille's kind of, people don't realize it's 100 miles over the border from Florida, right?
Yeah,
And Georgia, as a whole, struggles with car count anyway. It wasn't like years ago. I mean, what's that South Georgia Speedway? I think that's just up the road a little bit further.
yeah, just a little further north, I believe.
Yeah, and I mean, and they closed the doors years ago, right? And I feel like if you take the state of Georgia, it here it's in the South, right? It's between Florida and North Carolina, and kind of in the midst of it all. But I don't know a lot of racers from Georgia. You know a couple guys that were in the years ago you did, but now
Not
you don't
nearly
see.
as many.
Yeah, it's not like Florida where you got there's racers in every corner of the state. And North Carolina there's every corner of the state. It's just Georgia's I've always known it not to be a real big race state. Even though it's in the midst of it all.
Yeah, yeah,
So
which is shocking for, yeah, like you're saying, it's in the middle of it, but there's not a ton of up and coming drivers there as like there
yeah.
is in North Carolina and Florida.
Right. And Cordille's that track is awesome. I think it's an awesome facility. The races I've gone, that we've gone there, I just, even from the past, it's a neat place. And, no, Nolan's are doing a nice job of the facility, they're, where
Yeah,
they're at with it. But yeah, I hope whatever happens, it just, everything goes in a positive way for all of them, in both aspects. I mean, I'm friends with Ricky, and I know he's probably already got the next thing in line, and it's going to be a good deal for racing as a whole anyway. So
yeah, absolutely. I agree. I think that's the best thing, and I'm excited to watch both and the rest of the season for both the UARA series and Cordial to see how everything, how they grow throughout the rest of the season on their clean slates.
yeah, yeah. So then next we're going to have Travis on from Slinger. That going to be awesome, talking about where they're headed, that sort of thing, and it'll be fun question and answers with Travis for
Yeah, it'll
sure.
be very
So
awesome hearing about even his history and racing and everything, and than him and his wife, Kelsey, purchasing the track and everything. I'm excited to hear his story and hear what he has planned for this year.
Yeah, yeah, and even Kelsey raced supers, pro late models, limited late models, supers. Kelsey was a racer too, so they're both very. She come from go karts, ran the ranks up from go karts to late models, so they're a very family, like racing family orientated. Their passion is that, and of course Slinger to them is home. Like Travis is from West Bend, which is right by Slinger, and that's kind of home for them. That's where Kelsey, that's where Kelsey met Travis, and yeah, it'll be neat to hear both of their stories. So
Yeah, so we will bring Travis on as soon as we come back from these messages. So we will be right back.
The Thormeyer Family Christmas to Remember returns to Cindy Road in Lakeland on Fridays through Sundays, November 29th to December 22nd. Explore the stunning walk-through trees and light displays, enjoy beloved Christmas movies, and indulge in delicious festival foods. Meet the Grinch on Fridays and Santa on Saturdays, and pick out your freshly cut Christmas trees from a large variety. A Thormeyer Family Christmas.
coming over there with the gobstopper car, and
Yeah.
and then obviously my father-in-law helping you guys out, and so I was excited to hear it because you guys are young. Travis, what are you, 35 to 37?
30. I am 38 years old now. Can you believe that? I've been
Too
around
old,
short
bastard.
track racing. Yeah, I've been around short track late model racing for 23 years now.
Yep. Did some ASA racing. You guys used
Yeah.
to, you had Howie Letto working for you guys, and like you got a really good history in the sport. And I wanted to let people know on our podcast, our podcast is nationwide. So, I mean, Travis has raced, you've raced literally all over the country. You've done some stuff, throughout the sport, and then now, went into crew chiefing and renting race cars, and I miss your dad, Mike, and I had a lot of fun, and I just have great memories, of your family and that sort of thing. And then even your wife, Kelsey, I was just telling him earlier, I said, Kelsey ran go-karts throughout Wisconsin. And then she got into late models at Slinger. She started as a limited late, and then got into super lates, and that was a lot of fun. But yeah, and you guys are definitely a race family. So my biggest question is what was the discussion in your family that says, hey, we should buy Slinger Speedway?
Yeah, it was planned, but not planned a little bit. We had joked around. Me and Todd's feeling, joked around with it for a couple of years, talking about, hey, if you ever sell, let me know. I'd be interested. And kind of got to the end of the season last year or so, and some of these discussions got a little different than what they were prior. He was getting a little, you could just hear in his voice that he wanted to do something.
Yeah.
And I went home one night and kind of sat down with Kelsey and said, hey, I got something to bring up to you. And she goes, what? Because she always knows that that's not good if I bring up something and say, hey, I got an idea. And I said, I think Todd wants to sell Slinger Speedway. And she goes, really? I said, yeah. I said, what do you think if we try to, work on a deal with him? And she goes, yeah, let's do it. Well, so I always say it was her idea, now, because she was the one who went for it right away. But, she says she was sarcastic when she said that, but she really means it, that she really wanted to do it. And, it took a couple months of just going back and forth with, with Todd coming up with price and different things and how it was going to work out and make it as seamless as we could, and we got a deal done, and it was November already. So it was a pretty big kept secret. None of my friends. I think there was maybe 4 people in the nation that knew about it.
Yeah.
In the over the 4 months or so that it went on before news got out that it was being sold. It was hard. We didn't even tell our kids. We didn't tell our kids till the closing day when we were sitting in the office signing paperwork, because we didn't. And it was Todd didn't want it. We didn't want it. We didn't want any kind of news getting out that if you heard the thing was selling in November and it wouldn't happen until March, it's like, well, you don't want that happening, because then people are going to say, oh, it's closed. All
the rumor mill starts in racing, right?
Yeah. So we tried everything we could to stop that from happening. So
yeah. Well, I'm excited. Number one, you guys are young, and and I've always had a passion for the sport, and everything I've done. And your family always has been, your dad was you have a business sense, right? You're self-employed. Yeah.
I've had a vinyl business, graphic wrap business for 17 years now. So it's not like I'm a new business owner or anything like that. We've been owners for a long time already in businesses, and like you said, I've been around I've been around a lot of racetracks in this country, and just learning what they've done, and what works or what doesn't work, some cool things you see along the way and stuff like that. It's like now I can utilize some of that stuff the experience I've had in that sort of thing to just make the place better.
Yeah.
Try different things.
Yep. And especially where I always say, like, we're motorsports, it gets beat up in so many ways, but at the same time, we trying to keep it positive. And look at the cars and everything that we have. We have tons of race cars. People don't realize that, man. We got Bandoleros, legend cars, 4-cylinders, 6-cylinders, late models. We have 20 different styles of late models.
Yeah, exactly.
So when they say there's no cars, they're wrong. I disagree with them. It's just, it's just getting it balanced out. But this is good stuff. I thank you for coming on our podcast for this. And And so like your future plans, like right now, just get it rolling as it was, and just start there. Just get into the year, get your your feet wet. Is that kind of the goal this year?
Yeah. So what we had kind of going on was, with the late takeovers, with the, schedule kind of had to be out, January or so. So that was kind of set. And we just kind of mirrored. We just let, Todd's people kind of go on with, the normal kind of thing. So the schedule pretty much reflects what it was last year, for the most part. And we're just kind of rolling with it. That way we're rolling with it. The other part of the facility has changed a lot already. I mean, we've been working nonstop since we took over on Mark Ford. We've remodeled a VIP suite. We've done a VIP pavilion in turn 1 and 2. We're in the process of redoing all that. There's just a lot of things that we're working on right now. And just stuff to clean it up. As we speak, I'm hanging new signs up, new sponsors that have come on board. My wife's actually painting a fence right now, so that's good. We're keeping her busy too.
I don't envy us in any way. I remember when I bought the Dells racetrack years ago, and I bought it at a foreclosure, and it was the same way, right? We took over the place in March, and we were literally racing in April. I know exactly. And here hey Travis, you want to come on a podcast? Like I'm just thinking, when the hell's he got time to do that? But I can't thank you enough, and I get it, and I know what you're going through, but. Like I said, for me, it's exciting because just number one, your guys' success as a family and what you guys are doing, where you're going. I mean, we're on 2 different roads. I'm down here doing this, and you're doing that. But still in the back of my mind, I love you guys. I'm glad you guys are doing this. And it's great for the state of Wisconsin and to have some young blood with new ideas and shake a little bit of it up. Because like I said, sometimes we got to get out of 1950s and move and look different ways. And it takes that younger generation, and
like you said, you need some young blood and things like that. And certainly things that
do we
adapt?
Is that me that's losing him, or is he there?
No, he's breaking up really bad, Travis.
Oh.
How about now? You got me now?
Oh, there we go. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I got you.
It's probably because there's a car on the racetrack right now. There's just testing going on too. So I'm in the center of the infield right now working on Victory Lane. So sorry about that.
So very busy.
So let's do a podcast while I'm over here pounding steaks in. Well,
sorry.
I think we lost you again, Travis.
Yeah. Well, the biggest thing, and we'll definitely have Travis on throughout the year. I think just be nice to hear the growth of it, right? Keep it going with Travis. And the one thing I was thinking too, this weekend is his opener for the Pro Late Models. The All-Star Challenge is there, which that was a group of racers that started last year. So me and Travis were talking earlier. We're hoping to have anywhere from 35 to 40 race cars, Pro Late Models out there this weekend at Slinger. And that'll be we got you. Yeah, we were just talking about what you got coming up this weekend for your opener, and getting everybody in line for this. And what's nice is kind of at least you're bringing in a group, when we worked with the All-Star Challenge coming in there for this year, this will be good for the opener, a good car count right out of the box, and getting them guys in. Maybe some of them kids and on our side, I know one of our cars are coming there to race full time. They're going to start out with the All-Star Brady Bill, and actually Brady is actually going to race full time at Slinger this year. And
so awesome.
He's doing Golden Sands. Yeah, he's doing Golden Sands on Friday night, and then actually, because Kendrick's down here, he's going to run Kendrick's blue car after Kendrick runs it this weekend. He's going to keep that as a Slinger car, so that'll be fun.
Oh, awesome, nice.
Yeah. So that family will come over and hang out with you. And Travis Ray will be over by you, 80 years old, crew chief of Brady. But hey, so future plans, anything, Slinger Nationals, as normal, or you got some cool stuff coming up that's new for your family, or you just anything we should know about?
I mean, we're working on a lot of things right now. We got a new streaming service coming. That's going to be pretty neat. We can't announce it yet, but we got some cool things coming down the pipe on that.
Yeah.
We're working on some different guys coming to nationals, trying to really work my angles on people I know from over all the years and things like that to try to get some NASCAR guys back in here again. Last year kind of lacked that a little bit, so we're trying to work on that a little bit and work on just different things. Just try to make nationals as big as we can. We want to make that. We want to make that one of the, continue to make it one of the biggest races in the country. So we want to make sure we keep that up and make it bigger and better every year. So we're really working
and using some of the national super late model drivers that are out there, like your Bubba Pollards and, like we down there, but, people don't realize we have them up here too, right? We have them up in Wisconsin, some great super late model racers and
it's always great. It's always great to pull in the 25, 30 best super late drivers in the Midwest and bring in, 3-4 of them guys from down south that really, just amp up that level of competition, and it's
right.
Those southern guys really realize how good the northern guys are, when they come up this way. So that's the thing when we go down there, and I've owned Casey Johnson's cars in the past and we've gone down and run Snowball Derby. I mean, hell, the first year we went down there, we missed the show. And I mean, that's kind of hard to believe, and it's just a real wake up call, and it's good. It's good to get yourself on. It's good to, bring in that whole national talent across the whole country to know where you really stack up,
Yeah. And I always call it build diversity, right? Remember Bubba first came to Slinger and he was horrible. And then he came back and he kicked ass.
Yeah.
And I always say building that diversity, but and then you got Ricky Brooks coming up to be the tech guy for that race.
Yep. We just wanted that. Once again, we wanted that national presence to just know everybody's going to be, treated fairly and no favoritism and nobody thinks that the locals are getting the upper hand, things like that. We want to make this a actual national event that everybody can come to and feel like they got an equal shot at it.
My question is, and you probably can't, I don't know. Me and you talked, I love the AR tire down here, like that 153. And I always said, is Ricky coming up? Are they going to have the AR tires at the Slinger Nationals? Because I just absolutely love that tire. It's great for racing. And I'm not beating up manufacturers, but that is a one good tire for sure.
Yeah, we're actually on the AR for the limited stuff this year. So, but no, on the national side, we're going to be still Hoosier, the SC1, SC2. Everything's that way. It's Wisconsin based rules. We'll still be 2-barrel racing, things like that.
Yeah.
We went down there and raced and adapted to their rules. And I know a lot of guys that, there's a couple guys that want to play about it, but there's a bunch of guys from down south that don't mind.
Yeah. It's funny. We hear race cars in the background. Every promoter we had on sits in office, and Travis has got to get stuff done for this Sunday. And that's great. But hey, Travis, we won't keep you on too much longer, but let's keep an open dialogue and have you on another time throughout the season here and just keep ramping this up. But we appreciate you getting on with us, and we'll reach back out again for sure.
Cool. Yeah, anytime.
Yeah, we'll try to do it.
I'm working on the infield and having cars run around me,
Yeah. Well, let's plan on Slinger Nationals Wednesday. Do it live at Slinger, right, Erin?
Yeah. We'll be there.
Well, hey, we'll let you get going. Travis Dassel, we can't thank you enough. Life today, and we'll talk to you.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right. And
you still on?
Yes. I think we will go to a quick commercial break, and then we will be back, just Frank and I here after these messages.
The Thormeyer Family Christmas to Remember returns to Cindy Road in Lakeland on Fridays through Sundays, November 29th to December 22nd. Explore the stunning walk-through trees and light displays, enjoy beloved Christmas movies, and indulge in delicious festival foods. Meet the Grinch on Fridays and Santa on Saturdays, and pick out your freshly cut Christmas trees from a large variety. A Thormeyer Family Christmas.
Presented by Right Foot Down this week. Back here with Frank on the phone. That was a great talk with Travis.
Yeah, I was laughing because I'm like, Travis, like, right, he's got to get it done. He closed on that track, him and his wife. Now they're just thrashing to get things done, and I know there's a lot been going on there at Slinger Speedway. I've seen the pavers online, a lot of cool stuff. But yeah, that was great having them on, and like I said, I think we'll keep an open dialogue with them and keep doing, keep telling them, the updates and what they're planning on doing. But I laugh because there's a car in the background testing while he's out there working on Victory Lane.
Yeah, we'll have to. I know he had mentioned that they were doing a new subscription service, so we'll have to bring him in after once they finally announce all the details of what that looks like.
Yeah. And this weekend for Slinger is they call them Uptown Prolates. It's the All-Star Challenge, which the All-Star Challenge in Wisconsin it's a it's 6 racetracks, and it's basically a group of guys that travel. It's the group that travels, right? And they travel to each track that's a weekly program. So they start out at Slinger, then they go to Golden Sands Speedway, from Golden Sands to WIR, from WIR to Madison Speedway, from Madison Speedway back to Golden Sands, and then back to La Crosse at the end of the year. And I'll say it. The last year, the lowest car count was 41 cars, and it was an absolute home run for the state of Wisconsin for the Prolate division. And this year, every race the payout is really well for them, but it's just basically piggybacking on weekly racing, and it works. So you got your local 25, 30 cars, and then this group of 20 guys showing, and that's why they got the big car count. So that's this weekend, Sunday at 4, or I think it's 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock.
Sunday at 2 o'clock at Slinger Speedway. That'll be their opener, so it should be a good race.
And that's awesome to have a series that travels to multiple different tracks too. Kind of just letting everyone see the different tracks and supporting and bringing a great crowd to all of the speedways.
Yeah, and that's what it does. It carries so when they put the schedule together, nothing runs into another race. So when they're racing Slinger on Sunday, there's no other race they're up against. And then when they race on May 16th at Golden Sands, there's no other race they're up against. So what in them races they put together, then it gets them, and I'll say it gets them top guys out there and they're racing each other. But we did that Slinger race last year. It was a home run for them. We did it on June 22nd, and it was there was 47 pro cars.
Wow.
And it was all over Racing America, right? That holy cows, it was one of the highest car counts in the country. It was 47 cars came to qualify for that race, and the grandstands was packed. And it's their regular Sunday night racing. So it literally doubled their grandstands just by having that race. So this is the stuff like this that, you look out throughout the country. We were just talking a little bit about Georgia, doing that sort of stuff. You got your Auburndales and your Citruses and your New Smyrnas and, and you got your weekly cars, but it'd be neat to have just groups that piggyback with them races. And then they have a sponsor. That's how that All-Star works. It works well. So it's exciting for them that they're going to have that. And this will be the first year they do it on an opener because, before it wasn't bad, but yeah, no, we'll be there with Kendrick and, we'll be up there with Kendrick and GT. Grant's going to come up to Michigan, and my little buddy's going to come up there and watch his driver Kendrick wheel some of our cars up here, and then actually Grant put this stuff together with Evan Shacko. So this is good stuff, and this is something that we're doing, a testing for the GTR Ranch, for the race shop, and where we might go forward with these cars. And I say might, but I'm just looking at these things in the shop. Evan built some beautiful cars here. So
yeah, I'm excited to see the whole weekend play out, and you follow along on y'all's voyage from track to track. It's a very busy. I mean, you've had a crazy week since you've been gone.
It is. The only thing I miss is Grant, because usually it's entertainment when he's here.
Yeah.
Because we were looking for a honky tonk, Michelle said. When
couldn't find a honky tonk.
There's no honky tonk over here. We're in a little town, but nah, it's all good stuff. But no, looking forward to it, and yeah, and no, it's weird. Doing the podcast from a phone like this, but think I enjoy doing this and having that time. But it's neat. Well, like we're busy right now. We're about to get into our busy season. Yeah. So a lot of times, even some of this travel, and this is what we'll be doing, right, Erin? We'll be doing it from probably my motorhome. We'll have to
something that'll be cool that we'll have to incorporate when we're actually at tracks and stuff on Wednesdays is we'll have to try and get some film and video of us being there and have a full show. That'll be cool. We'll have to work on getting that all set up.
For sure. It'll be a good time. But so what else we got going on? We got we doing tech. You guys doing tech time there at the studio?
Yes. Coming up, you will have Grant and I talking about some tires again. We've got the Supermod tires out this week,
so big black tires, big wide tires that weigh nothing.
Yeah.
Aluminum wheel. So Grant's going to do tech talk on tech time with Erin on tires for the Super.
I've never seen the Supermods run, and let alone learned much about their tires. So I'm excited to learn a little bit more before I get to watch them run later this summer.
Well, so that's coming up next. What I'm going to do is I'm going to watch, because I'll watch you guys.
The live stream.
I'll let GT and you do it. I'm going to watch. I want to, because I don't want to miss this.
No, it is definitely something you probably do not want to miss. my first.
I'll tell GT to take it easy on you.
Yes, yeah. Send him a quick text.
I will.
All right. Well, I think we are gonna go ahead and go into a few brief messages before we do hop on into Tech Talk.
Yeah, a big shout out to Bassett Racing Wheels. We came down, picked up wheels for our cars, and Brian Gill and them guys. We want to thank them for always being good to the GTR racing program with the Bassett Racing Wheels. And we'll we know our super. I told them they don't do super mod tires. We were getting on Brian about that. Grant knows that, but that'll be next. But
in the works.
I told them we need steel wheels that are as light as them super mod wheels. But well, that sounds good. We'll hit a commercial here, and then I'm gonna watch you guys do tech talk.
Awesome, and we will see
tech
you
time.
Back.
Tech time,
and we will see you back in the studio next week.
You bet. We'll be back. Looking forward to it.
Awesome. Good luck this weekend.
You bet. We'll stay in touch.
All right.
Yeah.
The Thormeyer Family Christmas to Remember returns to Cindy Road in Lakeland on Fridays through Sundays, November 29th to December 22nd. Explore the stunning walk-through trees and light displays, enjoy beloved Christmas movies, and indulge in delicious festival foods. Meet the Grinch on Fridays and Santa on Saturdays and pick out your freshly cut Christmas trees from a large variety. A Thormeyer family Christmas. The Thormeyer family Christmas to remember.
We ready? Welcome back to Let's Talk Short Track Racing. I'm Grant Thormeyer with Erin. We're going to let's talk Tech Talk.
Yes.
So this week we brought out the big boy tires. Last week Frank and Nate was talking about the stock cars. Well, on the right rear we have 17-inch, and over on the left rear it's a 13-inch. I don't know if Frank last week talked to everybody about the best thing on stagger is always check the right side, right rear first, and then the left. So what we're going to do, oops. Oh shoot. This tire's a little bit worn out. Let me go grab the other one. So Joe's racing tape, we went to tire stagger because it's got the little point. And of course it's not sticking either.
Tire's too worn out.
Yeah. Oh boy. Get it? So on this one we have 87. So then we go over to, real quick, to the left rear. And we're right out of space. And of course. So we go past the 87, and that gives us our tire stagger, 3.5.
Nice.
So Erin, between these tires and what we run in the super late models, the Hoosiers, these will last 200 laps at Oswego
Okay.
on a non-wing in the super modified class, where on the super late models we only get about 100, 125, 150 laps.
Now, is that difference because the car is so much lighter, or is it the makeup of the tire?
It's the makeup of the tires.
Okay.
Hoosier, for some reason, makes the tires for super modifieds a lot better than the super late models.
And now if you put the wing on it, does that affect how much tire wear you get? Or?
We still get about 100 laps on that
Okay.
because
More downforce.
downforce and like you see, it wears off. That tire has about 115 laps on it.
With the wing, I'm assuming.
Yeah. Yep. And you can kind of see the blue marks
Yeah.
on the tire. So,
Yeah, you really can, especially when you're up close.
and folks, if you have any questions on the Super Modified while we're building it, if you see it in the background, last week it was just a chassis.
Yeah, this
We're
is coming
waiting for
along.
questions. We had John last week on as a car owner. So a lot of people don't understand what a Super Modified is. We would be free and love to answer some of the questions. These are the most unique short track cars in the country.
How many horsepower does it have?
This motor right here has 987 horsepower.
Wow.
And it's direct drive just like a sprint car. No starter, no transmission. It's an in and out box. You're either in gear or you're out.
It's impressive on how much you guys are getting done on this. Last time I was here, yeah, it was just pretty much the bare chassis.
Yep. And the thing is this is so much close to an Indy car, and then you put a wing on an Indy car. It's as close as you can get to an Indy car. And this car has 4 fuel cells. It holds 61 gallons of methanol.
Wow.
So.
And can you tell us a little bit about this powder coat?
This powder coat is a Illusion Purple. Gene Lasker from Buffalo Coating had this done, and it's really a good job, awesome job on Gene Lasker doing this.
Yeah, it's a beautiful color. I've not seen a chassis like this. It's really going to stand out.
So, anything else?
All right, I think that's going to be a wrap for
This week, yep.
Yeah, for Tech Talk this week, and we will be back next week with the Let's Talk Short Track Racing.
Thank you very much, folks. I screwed up.
The Thormeyer Family Christmas to Remember returns to Cindy Road in Lakeland on Fridays through Sundays, November 29th to December 22nd. Explore the stunning walk-through trees and light displays, enjoy beloved Christmas movies, and indulge in delicious festival foods. Meet the Grinch on Fridays and Santa on Saturdays, and pick out your freshly cut Christmas trees from a large variety. A Thormeyer Family Christmas.